Thank you. I'm Mr. Lehner, and welcome back to Mr. Lehner's Math Extravaganza. And today's webisode, we're going to take a look at how to figure out how much tip should you leave a server when, say, going out to lunch or going out to dinner with family or friends. How much should you leave that server who is taking your order, bringing your food, refilling your drinks, and the nice handy dandy thing that you can use. If you have a cell phone like this, you can pull out your cell phone and you'll be able to figure out just how much money to leave, where you don't have to worry about using a calculator because you got one right on your cell phone. Let's take a look at an example problem. Okay, in our example it says I and Karina are going out to lunch. Their bill is $14.65. There is a 7% tax and they want to leave a 15% tip after the tax is included. So they want to leave that 15% as their tip, but they want to make sure they do it after the tax is put on their bill. Find the total amount after tax and how much they should tip. We have our nice handy dandy little server there. I'm ready to bring them out some food. So there's a couple of steps we need to do here. First thing is we're going to calculate the tax of our bill. We know that I and Karina, that's their total bill. They're going to pay $14.65. That's before tax. So I'm going to find, with a 7% tax, what's their bill going to be after tax. And then I'm going to figure out what would a 15% tip be for our server. So let's kind of break this down and go step by step. Okay, first thing is, like we talked about in our previous lesson, is to find the tax rate. So I'm going to take the amount, $14.65, times 7%, or 0.07, which is going to give me that decimal, 1.0255, so I can round that decimal to about $1, and again, we're working with cents here, about $1.03. So to find my total after tax, I'm going to add $14.65 to the tax, which is $1.03, and my new total is $15.68. That's the total after tax. So again, building upon what we talked about in yesterday's lesson, I now have used that information with tax to give my new total. Now my bill says $15.68. Well, okay, how much money should we leave the server now? Our handy dandy guy over here that's providing us with our meal. He was nice. He refilled our drinks. He was very cordial when he was talking to us. So how much should we leave this guy? Well, we decided 15%. So to find out how much we should leave as a tip, we're going to take that total of $15.68, multiply it by 15%. That's going to tell me $2.35 when I multiply those two out. So I and Karina should leave $18.03 for the server. Again, $15.68 to cover the bill, and that $2.35 would be the tip for the server. Again, don't make sure you're not, you could leave $18.03 as your entire tip, but that's including the bill in there too. So as you're going out, again, if you're unsure, and I know that, hey, our total bill is $15.68, you can simply just pull out your phone, get on your calculator, multiply your bill by the percent of tip that you want to leave, and you'll be able to find your decimal very quickly doing that on there. Alright, here we go. Your turn. One of my favorite parts of the videos. Hannah and Ariana are going out to dinner. Their bill is $31.43. There is a 6% tax, and they want to leave a 20% tip after the tax is included. Find the total amount after tax and how much they should tip. And again, we have our nice handy dandy little server over here ready to help out. So, have your smartphone or calculator ready, piece of paper, a pencil, pause the video, and we'll see what you come up with. Okay, so again, there's a couple steps I want you to do in this problem. First, find the total after tax, and then how much you should tip. And again, these are applicable to real life situations. So Hannah and Ariana figure out their bill is $31.43. There's a 6% tax on their bill, and they want to leave a 20% tip. So first step is I got to find out what's my total after tax. So I'm going to take my $31, or their $31.43, multiply it by 6%, or 0.06, and it's going to equal 1.8858. Again, we're looking like change, so we're going to look at the hundredth place, and I can round that up to $1.89. So that's going to be their tax. So I can take that $1.89, which is my tax amount, and add it to my $31.43, which is going to give me a total of $33.32. Now, if you were wondering, I'm going to throw a little fraction curveball and some math knowledge at you. If you were wondering if this was reasonable, did I make a mistake when I was doing this? Let's think about 31. That's pretty close to 33. Remember, percents out of 100. So 6% would be 6 out of the 100. Well, 33 out of 100 is about 1/3. So if this is 1/3 of 100, what's 1/3 of 6%? 2. So this is almost 1/3 of 100. This is almost 1/3 of 6%. Now, if that totally throws you off, like, Mr. Lehner, I have no idea what you're talking about, that's okay, but you can kind of see this is where those fractions are still around, some of our other math information is still there, and just double checking to make sure our answer is reasonable. If I would have said that, you know, this is $11.89 or $18.85, I know I would have made a mistake somewhere because it just seems unrealistic to be a tax that high. So just a little something in there to keep in mind. But let's look back at the problem. So our tax is $1.89, and I'm going to add that to my $31.43. So I know that with everything combined, it's $33.32. Well, now Hannah and Ariana want to leave a tip. So they want to leave a 20% tip. They had a really great time there. The server was excellent to them, so they feel like they should leave a nice tip for the hard work that the server did. So to find this, we're going to multiply our total times the 20%, which is going to give us $6.664, which we can round up. We can add this tip into our total bill, so the total amount that Hannah and Ariana should leave all together with tip included is going to be $39.98 for the server. Again, $33.32 for their bill, and then $6.66 or 67 cents, however you want to round it up, would be the tip that would be left for the server. So if you're actually going up to pay, you might take your bill up, pay the server up top, and then you would leave that on the table as your tip for the server. Again, think about this. The next time that you go out to eat with a friend, or maybe you go out to dinner with your family, try it. Ask mom or dad if you could see the bill, and try and calculate and see how much percent are you going to leave as a tip. 15%, 18%, 17%, 20%, and see if you can figure out how much tip you should leave the server. Again, using these math skills that we're talking about in here, you can apply it to real life situations, especially as you start to get older and get a little bit more responsibility moving forward. Thank you for tuning in to Miss Lehner's Math Extravaganza. As always, we'll see you next time.